let's actually look into what should we do, how should we go about. We mentioned briefly when we were discussing burial types, but we'll go step by step. I summarized, I made a list of all those steps. There are, I think, about 15 steps that we should do, how we should go about burying. First thing, of course, we said before, we have to dig the grave, and again, when we dig the grave, we should make sure that we do it very nicely, square edges with it should face the Qibla. The right side of the deceased should face the Qibla, so we have to align it in that way. And we have to make sure that there was no previous grave there. If it was there, make sure that it was completely disintegrated and no bones or nothing left there. And also we have to decide based on the soil and climate, we have to determine if Lahad grave is going to be fine or not, or we should have a Shaq grave or the regular grave. So those things. And then another thing that we need to do is, once the grave is prepared, we bring the dead body now. Where should we put the dead body before even taking it out? It should be brought to the foot of the grave, where his feet will be. That's how it should bring. What?
Can you get machines that dig the grave?
That's what they do here, but in many countries they don't. So, yeah, this is the machine that they usually do because that's safer and that's easier. Yeah.
Isn't the head supposed to face the Qibla?
Head?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole body actually faces the Qibla. Head is here, feet is here, and the whole body is turning towards the Qibla. Yeah, we will see. We have a step for that. Okay. And some people bring on the sides. Actually, we will discuss that hadith, but the sunnah is to bring on the foot of the grave. And then the third step is you have to select the men to bury. We went over the conditions and everything. And how many people should participate? How many people should we select for burial? So again, that depends on what's the size of the dead body, if it's a child or if it's a man or woman. So generally speaking, what people do is maybe 3 men on the top and 3 men on the grave. So the 3 men lower it and the 3 men receive it. So 6 men should be good enough. And then this is important. Move body lengthwise. So we have the grave here, it's the head here and the feet here. So the deceased body should come this way, lengthwise, and so in that way the head of the person will hit the foot of the grave first. I mean, it will align it that way. But once we move it lengthwise, the final step would be to make the head go down and the body together, and it will be brought this way. Some people you see will actually try to do it this way. Some scholars do that, but Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, he was very, very particular about it. He said that he quoted a direct evidence that he said from Abu Dawud. It's also recorded that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was moved lengthwise. That's a Sahih narration. That was Imam Shafi. And when people told him that some people are doing this way from the Qibla side, he was very much against it. He was saying that this goes against the Sunnah. And also, it's also reported from Abdullah ibn Yazid that this is a Sunnah. We don't have direct report from Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, but that became the common practice among the Sahaba. And one thing that I want to mention here is that the person is dead, right? Can we handle it, a little roughly? He's dead. He's not going to feel anything. Is it okay if we just move it like very, fast, quickly? We cannot do that. In fact, there is a very, very serious hadith about it. It's a Sahih hadith in Abu Dawud. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Indeed, breaking a dead believer's bone is similar to breaking them when he is alive." You see, the sanctity extends even after the death of a Muslim. So we have to make sure that, just like how we carry, baby, we're so careful, that's how we have to carry. Make sure that nothing happens, doesn't drop in no circumstance. Another thing that we should remember while lowering the body or moving this body is the dua actually. We have this from the hadith that Prophet Muhammad told us to say Bismillah wa ala millati Rasulullah. Basically saying with Allah's name and upon the religion of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or you can also add wa billah, Bismillah wa billah wa ala millati Rasulullah. That dua is only for the people who are like lowering the grave and receiving the deceased. So, and also this was reported by the famous Sahabi Anas ibn Malik that he was also brought the grave lengthwise. Anyways, let's move on to the next step. What we should do after lowering the body. So the body is now lowered. We have to place the body inside the lahad or the shaq, whatever we have. So what we do is that we have to move the body as much as possible close to the qibla first, and then after we do that, we make him face towards the qibla on the right. That's the sunnah. That's how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was buried. And as I said before, how we sleep during night, our right side touching the bed and the left side is up. That's how it should be, just how we sleep, because again, death is a form of sleep, isn't it? So that's how we should be sleeping, and facing in the death and the grave. And then, sixth step is untying any ropes. So we said that while shrouding, that process, when we put the 3 shrouds, we tied them with the rope. It's not necessary, but we do that because to make sure that the shroud doesn't open. The shroud doesn't open. So we tie them, but that's actually not necessary. But since we are making sure that it is not tied up, it doesn't fall. So when we are placing the dead body in the grave, we have to untie it. We have to untie it because it's not needed anymore because the deceased is already in the grave. And what's the evidence for it, for untying? That's from the famous Sahabi, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. He said that when you have placed the deceased in the grave, undo the knots. So that's the reason why we do it. It's a recommendation. And when we are placing the body in the grave, we have to make sure again that muhrim, the person who was in ihram, we cannot cover his head even at that time. Even the shrouding, whatever, it has to be open. It has to be open, and under no circumstances it can be open. That's a rare case though. And so once you are done with facing the qibla, we have to seal the deceased with a covering. So in case of lahad grave, since it's like inside, we put like bricks to cover it up. And in case of a shaq, we put maybe slabs or something, or an oblique slabs in case of just a pit hole. So something, it's not like putting soil directly. You cannot do that. You have to cover it up. So once we are done with that as well, we then finally throw the soil on the deceased. But some fiqh rulings that we have to remember while throwing soil is that we have to use both our hands and full soil, and we have to throw this soil towards the head of the deceased. That's a sunnah. Towards the head. You go towards the head of the grave and you throw it. And how many times do you have to do it? 3 times. Do it 3 times. That's the sunnah. And make sure that the people who are burying came out. Don't just start throwing it.